Hello, friends and family of First CRC. This is Pastor Moses. We have now started the month of July, and we are in the thick of things here in the summer. The temperature is rising, and air conditionings are going, and we're all envious of people who have pools in their backyard. But it also means that it's the start of a new sermon series, and this summer we'll be looking at the letters that Paul wrote to the early churches. And so we have started a new sermon series called "What Paul Really Wanted to Say to His Churches." Now, when we look at these letters, we look at them as sources to find doctrines, find theology. Like, what is Paul in theology? What is Paul in doctrine? And lots of people have written many PhDs on what the letters say about God. But I want us to really focus in on the fact that these are not textbooks, that these are not simply books that talk about the different doctrines of our faith. But first and foremost, they're a letter written by an individual to another group of individuals. And it's not just a letter and say, convert your ways to God, but it's more like a love letter. Now, I don't know if you have written a love letter before. I know I have. And last week being our Gloria and my 11th year wedding anniversary, I got a chance to look at some of the files and written a little letter myself. But what I find myself doing is that as I was writing this letter, I was very cautious of every single word that I wrote. Because when I receive a love letter from someone, I don't simply just read it and say, wow, that was a good letter. I like the content of that letter. But what I do is I start focusing on each line. I count how many lines there are. I look at the space between each line. I think about the verbs that she uses or the special words that she uses. I start parsing the letter. I start taking apart that letter to find out what it really means, not because it's a letter of doctrine, but because it's a letter from a person I truly love. And that's what these letters are. First Thessalonians is probably regarded to be the first book that was written in the New Testament, is a love letter. A letter of love, a letter spreading God's love, a letter sharing the thankfulness that Paul feels about the church in Thessalonica. So, yes, it is doctrine. Yes, it is theology. Yes, some of it is very difficult. But at the end of the day, it's a letter written by an individual to a group of people. And I'm sure it has so much to say to us this week as well. As we look forward to each week, looking at each of the letters that Paul wrote to some of the communities of faith that he started or that he helped start, I hope that as we look at these different letters, that we will be blessed by what God has to speak to us through Paul. And I hope to see you at church, 9:30, whether here at 33 Shirley or online. God bless. See you soon.